it's a pretty important chapter. So we'll be starting on 2 Kings chapter 21. This is about Manasseh. He was probably the most evil king in all of the Bible. So here we go. Ready, Matthew? Okay. I'll take that as a yes. 2 Kings chapter 21. Manasseh was 12 years old when he became king, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hephzibah, or Hephzibah. There we go. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, according to the abominations of the nations whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. For he rebuilt the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. He raised up altars for Baal, and made a wooden image, as Ahab king of Israel had made, or had done, and he worshipped all the hosts of heaven and served them. He also built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord had said, "In Jerusalem I will put my name." And he built altars for all the hosts of heaven in the two courts of the house of the Lord. Also he made his son pass through the fire, practiced soothsaying, used witchcraft, and consulted spiritists and mediums. He did much evil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. He even set a carved image of Asherah that he had made in the house, of which the Lord had said to David and to Solomon his son, "In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever, and I will not make the feet of Israel wander any more from the land which I gave their fathers, only if they are careful to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them." But they paid no attention, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than the nations whom the Lord had destroyed before the children of Israel. And the Lord spoke by his servants, the prophets, saying, "Because Manasseh, king of Judah, has done these abominations, he has acted more wickedly than all the Amorites who were before him, and has also made Judah sin with his idols. Therefore, thus says the Lord God of Israel, behold, I am bringing such calamity upon Jerusalem and Judah, that whoever hears of it, both his ears will tingle. And I will stretch over Jerusalem the measuring line of Samaria, and the plummet of the house of Ahab. I will wipe Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. So I will forsake the remnant of my inheritance and deliver them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall become victims of plunder to all their enemies, because they have done evil in my sight and provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came out of Egypt, even to this day. Moreover, Manasseh shed very much innocent blood, till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to the other, besides his sin, by which he made Judah sin in doing evil in the sight of the Lord. Now the rest of the acts of Manasseh, all that he did, and the sin that he committed, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Manasseh rested with his fathers, and was buried in the garden of his own house, in the garden of Uzzah. Then his son Amon reigned in his place. Amon was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Meshullemeth, the daughter of Haruz of Jothbah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, as his father Manasseh had done. So he walked in all the ways that his father had walked, and he served the idols that his father had served and worshipped them. He forsook the Lord God of his fathers and did not walk in the way of the Lord. Then the servants of Ammon conspired against him and killed the king in his own house. But the people of the land executed all those who had conspired against King Ammon. Then the people of the land made his son Josiah king in his place. Now the rest of the acts of Ammon which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And he was buried in his tomb in the garden of Uz. Then Josiah, his son, reigned in his place. there's a Hebrew word here. I don't think I read it yesterday. No, because I got cut off. Okay, so there's a Hebrew word, gan, 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 and it means garden. Gardens that belonged to kings were actually royal parks. Occasionally, parts of royal gardens might be used for purposes such as vegetable gardens or even burial grounds. When ordinary people owned gardens, their main function was to produce food. Gardens are spoken of symbolically in the Bible as portraits of happiness and fruitfulness. For example, the lovers in the Song of Solomon compared one another to a garden of delights. The Garden of Eden represented God's ideal environment for man. Some of this garden's features, especially its rivers and the tree of life, are also used to portray God's final blessing for his people. 2 Kings chapter 22. Josiah was 8 years old when he became king, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jedidah, the daughter of Adiah of Boscath. And he did what was right in the sight of the Lord and walked in all the ways of his father David. He did not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. Now it came to pass in the 18th year of King Josiah that the king sent Shaphan, the scribe, the son of Azaliah, the son of Methuselah, to the house of the Lord, saying, Go up to Hilkiah, the high priest, that he may count the money which has been brought into the house of the Lord, which the doorkeepers have gathered from the people, and let them deliver it into the hand of those doing the work, who are the overseers in the house of the Lord. Let them give it to those who are in the house of the Lord doing the work to repair the damages of the house, to carpenters and builders and masons, and to buy timber and hewn stone to repair the house. However, there need be no accounting made with them of the money delivered to their hand, because they deal faithfully. Then Hilkiah, the high priest, said to Shaphan, the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and he read it. So Shaphan the scribe went to the king, bringing the king word, saying, Your servants have gathered the money that was found in the house, and have delivered it into the hand of those who do the work, who oversee the house of the Lord. Then Shaphan the scribe showed the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest has given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. Now it happened, when the king heard the words of the book of the law, that he tore his clothes. Then the king commanded Hilkiah the priest, Eliakim, the son of Shaphan, Akbor, the son of Micaiah, Shaphan the scribe, and Azariah, a servant to the king, saying, Go inquire of the Lord for me, for the people, and for all Judah, concerning the words of this book that has been found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is aroused against us, because our fathers have not obeyed the words of this book, to do according to all that is written concerning us. So Hilkiah the priest, Ahikam, Akbor, Shaphan, and Azariah went to Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shulam, the son of Tikvah, the son of Haras, keeper of the wardrobe. She dwelt in Jerusalem in the second quarter, and they spoke with her. Then she said to them, Thus says the Lord God of Israel, Tell the man who sent you to me, Thus says the Lord, Behold, I will bring calamity on this place and on its inhabitants. All the words of the book which the king of Judah has read, because they have forsaken me and burned incense to other gods, that they might provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore my wrath shall be aroused against this place, and shall not be quenched. But as for the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of the Lord, in this manner you shall speak to him. Thus says the Lord God of Israel, concerning the words which you have heard. Because your heart was tender, and you humbled yourself before the Lord when you heard what I spoke against this place and against its inhabitants, that they would become a desolation and a curse. And you tore your clothes and wept before me. I also have heard you, says the Lord. Surely, therefore, I will gather you to your fathers, and you shall be gathered to your grave in peace. And your eyes shall not see all the calamity which I will bring on this place. So they brought back the word to the king. 2 Kings chapter 23. Now the king sent them to gather all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem to him. The king went up to the house of the Lord with all the men of Judah, and with him all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the priests and the prophets, and all the people, both small and great. And he read in their hearing all the words of the book of the covenant, which had been found in the house of the Lord. Then the king stood by a pillar and made a covenant before the Lord to follow the Lord and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all his heart and all his soul, to perform the words of this covenant that were written in this book. And all the people took a stand for the covenant. And the king commanded Hilkiah the high priest, the priests of the second order, and the doorkeepers to bring out of the temple of the Lord all the articles that were made for Baal and Asherah, and for all the hosts of heaven. And he burned them outside Jerusalem in fields of Kidron, and carried their ashes to Bethel. Then he removed the idolatrous priests, whom the kings of Judah had ordained to burn incense on the high places in the cities of Judah and in the places all around Jerusalem, and those who burned incense to Baal, to the sun, to the moon, to the constellations, and to all the host of heaven. And he brought out the wooden image from the house of the Lord to the brook Kidron outside Jerusalem, burned it at the brook Kidron, and ground it to ashes, and threw its ashes on the graves of the common people. Then he tore down the ritual booths of the perverted persons that were in the house of the Lord, where the women wove hangings for the wooden image. And he brought all the priests from the cities of Judah, and defiled the high places where the priests had burned incense, from Geba to Beersheba. Also, he broke down the high places at the gates which were at the entrance of the gate of Joshua, the governor of the city, which were to the left of the city gate. Nevertheless, the priests of the high places did not come up to the altar of the Lord in Jerusalem, but they ate unleavened bread among their brethren. And he defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, that no man might make his son or his daughter pass through the fire to Molech. Then he removed the horses that the kings of Judah had dedicated to the sun at the entrance to the house of the Lord by the chamber of Nathan Melech, the officer who was in the court. And he burned the chariots of the sun with the fire. The altars that were on the roof, the upper chamber of Ahaz, which the kings of Judah had made, and the altars which Manasseh had made in the two courts of the house of the Lord, the king broke down. All right, Matthew. How was that sneeze, kiddo? Didn't sound like you finished it.
Why is the door open? You don't hear. Ooh.
Give me 1 second. 1 second, Matthew. Okay. All right. Then Nathan Melech, the officer who was in the court, and he burned the chariots of the sun with fire, the altars that were on the roof, the upper chamber of Ahaz, which the kings of Judah had made, and the altars which Manasseh had made, in the two courts of the house of the Lord. The king broke down and pulverized there, and threw their dust into the brook Kidron. Then the king defiled the high places that were east of Jerusalem, which were on the south of the Mount of Corruption, which Solomon, king of Israel, had built for Ashtoreth, the abomination of the Sidonians, for Chemosh, the abomination of the Moabites, and for Milcom, the abomination of the people of Ammon. And he broke in pieces the sacred pillars, and cut down the wooden images, and filled their places with the bones of men. Moreover, the altar that was at Bethel, and the high place which Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel sin, had made, both that altar and the high place he broke down, and he burned the high place and crushed it to powder, and burned the wooden image. As Josiah had turned, he saw the tombs that were on the mountain, and he set and took the bones out of the tombs and burned them on the altar, and defiled it according to the word of the Lord which the man of God proclaimed, who proclaimed these words. Then he said, "What gravestone is this that I see?" So the men of the city told him, "It is the tomb of the man of God who came from Judah and proclaimed these things which you have done against the altar of Bethel." And he said, "Let him alone, let no one move his bones." So they let his bones alone with the bones of the prophet who came from Samaria. Now Josiah also took away all the shrines of the high places that were in the cities of Samaria, which the king of Israel had made to provoke the Lord to anger. And he did to them according to all the deeds he had done in Bethel. He executed all the priests of the high places who were there. On the altars, he burned men's bones on them, and he returned to Jerusalem. Then the king commanded all the people, saying, "Keep the Passover to the Lord your God, as it is written in the book of the covenant." Such a Passover surely had never been held since the days of the judges who judged Israel, nor in all the days of the kings of Israel and the kings of Judah. But in the 18th year of King Josiah, this Passover was held before the Lord in Jerusalem. Moreover, Josiah put away those who consulted mediums and spirits, the household gods and idols, all the abominations that were seen in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem, that he might perform the words of the law which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord. Now before him there was no king like him, who turned to the Lord with all his heart, with all his soul, and with all his might, according to all the law of Moses. Nor after him did any arise like him. There's a Hebrew word here we'll read, and that's Asherah, Asherah, and that's wooden image. Asherah, wooden image. This word is both the name of a Canaanite fertility goddess, Asherah, and the designation of a wooden object representing her. In the Old Testament, the word is rarely used as a proper name. Far more often, it is used for a carved image. Asherahs were placed on hills. Frequently, altars and other images were next to these wooden images. The Lord warned his people before they entered the promised land that this false religion would snare them if they did not banish it from the land. Nevertheless, the problem persisted during much of the periods of the judges and kings. Although occasional reforms did seek to eliminate these images, the prophets consistently sounded a clarion call to abandon such false worship, for God's judgment was coming. All right, 2 Kings chapter 23, verse 26. How you doing? Hanging in there, kiddo? Yeah? Okay. Nevertheless, the Lord did not turn from the fierceness of his great wrath, with which his anger was aroused against Judah, because of all the provocations with which Manasseh had provoked him. And the Lord said, "I will also remove Judah from my sight, as I have removed Israel, and will cast off this city, Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the house of which I said, my name shall be there." Now the rest of the acts of Josiah, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? In his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went to the aid of the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates, and King Josiah went against him. And Pharaoh Necho killed him at Megiddo when he confronted him. Then his servants moved his body in a chariot from Megiddo, brought him to Jerusalem, and buried him in his own tomb. And the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, anointed him, and made him king in his father's place. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he became king, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his fathers had done. Now Pharaoh Necho put him in prison at Riblah, in the land of Hamath, that he might not reign in Jerusalem. And he imposed on the land a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. Then Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, king in place of his father Josiah, and charged his name to Jehoiakim. And Pharaoh took Jehoahaz and went to Egypt, and he died there. So Jehoiakim gave the silver and the gold to Pharaoh, but he taxed the land to give money according to the command of Pharaoh. He exacted the silver and gold from the people of the land, from everyone according to his assessment. He gave it to Pharaoh Necho. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Zebudah, the daughter of Pedaiah of Rumah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord according to all that his fathers had done. 2 Kings chapter 24. In his days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up, and Jehoiakim became his vassal for 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him, and the Lord sent against him raiding bands of Chaldeans, bands of Syrians, bands of Moabites, and bands of the people of Ammon. He sent them against Judah to destroy it, according to the word of the Lord, which he had spoken by his servants the prophets. Surely, at the commandment of the Lord, this came upon Judah to remove them from his sight, because of the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he had done, and also because of the innocent blood that he had shed, for he had filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which the Lord would not pardon. Now, the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Jehoiakim rested with his fathers. Then Jehoiachin, his son, reigned in his place. And the king of Egypt did not come out of his land any more, for the king of Babylon had taken all that belonged to the king of Egypt, from the brook of Egypt to the river Euphrates. Jehoiachin was 18 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. His mother's name was Nehushta, the daughter of Elnathan of Jerusalem, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord according to all that his father had done. At that time, the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. And Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came against the city as his servants were besieging it. Then Jehoiachin, king of Judah, his mother, his servants, his princes, and his officers went out to the king of Babylon, and the king of Babylon, in the 8th year of his reign, took him prisoner. And he carried out from there all the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. And he cut in pieces all the articles of gold which Solomon, king of Israel, had made in the temple of the Lord, as the Lord had said. Also he carried into captivity all Jerusalem, all the captains and all the mighty men of valor, 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and smiths. None remained except the poorest people of the land. And he carried Jehoiachin captive to Babylon. The king's mother, the king's wives, his officers, and the mighty of the land he carried into captivity from Jerusalem to Babylon. All the valiant men, 7,000, and craftsmen and smiths, 1,000, all who were strong and fit for war. These the king of Babylon brought captive to Babylon. Then the king of Babylon made Mataniah, Jehoiachin's uncle, king in his place, and changed his name to Zedekiah. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he became king, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. He also did evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that Jehoiakim had done. For because of the anger of the Lord, this happened in Jerusalem and Judah, that he finally cast them out from his presence. Then Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. 2 Kings chapter 25. Now it came to pass, in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, on the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and all his army came against Jerusalem and encamped against it. And they built a siege wall against it all around. So the city was besieged until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. For the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine had become so severe in the city that there was no food for the people of the land. Then the city wall was broken through, and all the men of war all the men of war fled at night by way of the gate between two walls, which was by the king's garden, even though the Chaldeans were still encamped all around against the city. And the king went by way of the plain. But the army of the Chaldeans pursued the king, and they overtook him in the plains of Jericho. All his army was scattered from him. So they took the king and brought him up to the king of Babylon at Riblah, and they pronounced judgment on him. Then they killed the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, put out the eyes of Zedekiah, bound him with bronze fetters, and took him to Babylon. And in the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which was the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, a servant of the king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem. He burned the house of the Lord and the king's house, all the houses of Jerusalem, that is, all the houses of great he burned with fire. And all the army of the Chaldeans who were with the captain of the guard broke down the walls of Jerusalem all around. Then Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carried away captive the rest of the people who remained in the city, the defectors who had deserted to the king of Babylon, with the rest of the multitude. But the captain of the guard left some of the poor people of the land as vine dressers and farmers. The bronze pillars that were in the house of the Lord, and the carts, and the bronze sea that were in the house of the Lord, the Chaldeans broke into pieces and carried their bronze to Babylon. They also took away the pots, the shovels, the trimmers, the spoons, and all the bronze utensils with which the priests ministered, the fire pans and the basins, the things of solid gold and solid silver, the captain of the guard took away. The 2 pillars, 1 sea, and the carts, which Solomon had made for the house of the Lord, the bronze of all these articles was beyond measure. The height of 1 pillar was 18 cubits, and the capital on it was of bronze. The height of the capital was 3 cubits, and the network and pomegranates all around the capital were all of bronze. The 2nd pillar was the same, with a network. And the captain of the guard took Sariah, the chief priest, Zephaniah, the 2nd priest, and the 3 doorkeepers. He also took out of the city an officer who had charge of the men of war, 5 men of the king's close associates who were found in the city, the chief recruiting officer of the army, who mustered the people of the land, and 60 men of the people of the land who were found in the city. So Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard, took these and brought them to the king of Babylon at Riblah. Then the king of Babylon struck them and put them to death at Riblah in the land of Hamath. Thus Judah was carried away captive from its own land. Then he made Gedaliah, the son of Achim, the son of Shaphan, governor over the people who remained in the land of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had left. Now when all the captains of the armies, they and their men, heard that the king of Babylon had made Gedaliah governor, they came to Gedaliah at Mizpah. Ishmael, the son of Netaniah, Johanna, the son of Kareah, Sarai, the son of Tehumeth, and Netephoth. Oh, I'm skipping that one. And Jaazaniah, I am not on point today, the son of the Maacathites. They and their men and Gedaliah took an oath before them and their men, and said to them, "Do not be afraid of the servants of the Chaldeans. Dwell in the land and serve the king of Babylon, and it shall be with you." But it happened in the 7th month, that Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, the son of Elishama, of the royal family, came with 10 men and struck and killed Gedaliah, the Jews, as well as the Chaldeans who were with him at Mizpah. And all the people, small and great, and the captains of the armies arose and went to Egypt, for they were afraid of the Chaldeans. Now it came to pass in the 37th year of the captivity of Jehoiachin, king of Judah, in the 12th month, on the 27th day of the month, that evil Merodach, king of Babylon, in the year that he began to reign, released Jehoiachin, king of Judah, from prison. He spoke kindly to him and gave him a more prominent seat than those of the kings that were with him in Babylon. So Jehoiachin changed from his prison garments, and he ate bread regularly before the king all the days of his life. And as for his provisions, there was a regular ration given him by the king, a portion for each day, all the days of his life. That was the end of the second book of Kings. And I'm going to continue reading. Okay, Matthew, you want to begin the first book of the Chronicles? Let's do it. There's a little preface here. So, the first book of the Chronicles. So, First Chronicles is an inspirational history. Writing after the exile, the author sought to inspire the remnant of Israelites with their extraordinary spiritual heritage. Appropriately, the book focuses on David, and he was not only Israel's great king, but also one of Israel's greatest spiritual leaders. When he became king, one of his first priorities was to establish the worship of God as the center of Israel's national life. Amidst a great celebration, David brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem and appointed priests to minister regularly before it. Chapters 15 and 16. That's where you can find that. His actions demonstrated his concern that all of Israel would give to the Lord the glory due his name. This was Israel's extraordinary spiritual legacy, true worship of the living God. Let's see. So the first book of Chronicles here will go from, looks like a timeline, basically, well, I'm going to say it probably goes from 1400 BC up until 930 BC is what it looks like. So Christ in these scriptures, as in 1st and 2nd Samuel, Jesus is foreshadowed in this book through the life and influence of King David. God's covenant with David is a prelude to what the Messiah will bring about. Some might try to reason that David's son Solomon fulfilled the covenant, but they would only be partly right. Only Jesus can ultimately fulfill it. That fact that the tribe of Judah is listed first in the national genealogy was not coincidental. The writer was quietly celebrating that the monarchy, the temple construction, and the future Messiah, Jesus, would come from this tribe. Okay. Ready, Matthew? You ready? Let's go. First Chronicles, chapter 1. Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Mediah, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Dipheth, and Togarmah. Excuse me. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tereshiah, Kittim, and Rodanim. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Sabteca. The sons of Ramah were Sheba and Dedan. Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. Mizraim begot Ludim, Anamim, Lahabim, and Nephilim. Pethrazim, Calshuim, for whom came the Philistines, and the Caphtorim. Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite, the Amorite, and the Girishite, the Hivite, the Archite, and the Sinite, the Arvadite, the Zemarite, and the Hamathite. The sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Aphaxad, Lud, Aram, Uz, Hul, Gether, and Meshech. Arphaxad begot Shelah, and Shelah begot Eber. To Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan begot Almadad, Sheleph, Hazarmaveth, Jira, Hadoram, Uzal, Diklah, Ebal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan. Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Serug, Nahor, Terah, and Abram, who is Abraham. The sons of Abraham were Isaac and Ishmael. These are their genealogies. The firstborn of Ishmael was Nabijah, then Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsham, Mishma, Duma, Mesa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These were the sons of Ishmael. Now the sons born to Keturah, Abraham's concubine, were Zimran, Jokshan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. The sons of Jokshan were Sheba and Dedan. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldaah. These were the children of Keturah. And Abraham begot Isaac. The sons of Isaac were Esau and Jacob. The sons of Esau were Eliphaz, Reuel, Jeush, Jaalam, and Korah. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zephi, Gatam, and Kenaz. And by Timnah, Amalek. The sons of Reuel were Nahath, Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. The sons of Seir were Lotam, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishan, Ezer, and Dishan. And the sons of Lotan were Horai and Homam. Lotan's sister was Timnah. The sons of Shobal were Elian, Manaeth, Ebal, Shephi, and Onam. The sons of Zibeon were Asia and Anah. The son of Anah was Dishon. The sons of Dishon were Hamram, Eshban, Ithran, and Kiram. The sons of Ezer were Bilhan, Seavan, and Jaakan. The sons of Dishan were Uz and Aran. Now these were the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before a king reigned over the children of Israel. Bela, the son of Beor, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And when Bela died, Joab, the son of Zerah of Bozrah, reigned in his place. When Joab died, Husham of the land of the Temanites reigned in his place. And when Husham died, Hadad, the son of Bedad, who attacked Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his place. The name of his city was Avith. When Hadad died, Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his place. And when Samlah died, Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his place. When Saul died, Baal-Hanan, the son of Achbor, reigned in his place. And when Baal-Hanan died, Hadad reigned in his place, and the name of his city was Pai. His wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. Hadad died also. And the chiefs of Edom were Chief Timnah, Chief Eliah, Chief Jetheth, Jetheth, Chief Aholibama, Chief Elah, Chief Pinon, Chief Kenaz, Chief Teman, Chief Mizbar, Chief Magdiel, and Chief Iram. These were the chiefs of Edom. These were the sons of Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Joseph, Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. The sons of Judah were Onan, and Shelah. These three were born to him by the daughter of Shua the Canaanitess. The firstborn of Judah, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, so he killed him. And Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bore him Perez and Zerah. All the sons of Judah were 5. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Zerah were Zimri, Ethan, Heman, Calcol, and Dara, 5 of them in all. The son of Carmi was Achar, the troubler of Israel, who transgressed in the accursed thing. The son of Ethan was Azariah. Also the sons of Hezron, who were born to him, were Jeremiel, Ram, and Chelebai. Ram begot Amminadab, and Amminadab begot Nahshon, leader of the children of Judah. Nahshon begot Salma, and Salma begot Boaz. Boaz begot Obed, and Obed begot Jesse. Jesse begot Eliab, his firstborn, Abinadab the second, Shimea the third, Nathaniel the fourth, Radai the fifth, Ozem the sixth, and David the seventh. Now their sisters were Zariah and Abigail. And the sons of Zariah were Abishai, Joab, and Asahel. 3. Abigail bore Amasa, and the father of Amasa was Jether the Ishmaelite. Caleb, the son of Hezron, had children by Azubah, his wife, and by Jereth. Now these were her sons, Jesher, Shobab, and Ardon. When Azubah died, Caleb took Ephrath as his wife, who bore him Hur. And Hur begot Uri, and Uri begot Bezalel. Now afterward, Hezron went in to the daughter of Machir, the father of Gilead, whom he married when he was 60 years old, and she bore him Segub. Segub begot Jair, who had 23 cities in the land of Gilead. Gesher, and Syria took from them took from them two. I don't know why I keep saying two. Took from them the towns of Jair with Kenath and its towns, 60 towns. All these belonged to the sons of Machir, the father of Gilead. After Hezron died, and Caleb Ephterah, Hezron's wife Abijah, bore him Ashur, the father of Tekoa. The sons of Jeremiel, the firstborn of Hezron, were Ram, the firstborn, and Bunah, Oren, Ozem, and Ijah. Jeremiel had another wife, whose name was Atterah. She was the mother of Onem. The sons of Ram, the firstborn of Jeremiel, were Maaz, Jamin, and Eker. The sons of Onem were Shimei and Jada. The sons of Shimei were Nadab and Abishur. And the name of the wife of Abishur was Abihel. And she bore him Aban and Molid. The sons of Nadab were Seled and Apim. Seled died without children. The son of Apim was Ishai. The son of Ishai was Sheshan. And Sheshan's son was Ilah. The sons of Jada, the brother of Shammai, were Jether and Jonathan. Jether died without children. The sons of Jonathan were Peleth and Zerah. These were the sons of Jeremiel. Now Sheshan had no sons, only daughters, and Sheshan had an Egyptian servant whose name was Jerah. Sheshan gave his daughter to Jerah, his servant as a wife, and she bore him Attai. Attai begot Nathan, and Nathan begot Zabad. Zabad begot Ephlal, and Ephlal begot Obed. Obed begot Jehu, and Jehu begot Azariah. Azariah begot Helez, and Helez begot Elisha. Elisha begot Sismai, and Sismai begot Shallum. Shallum begot Jechemiah, and Jechemiah begot Elishama. The descendants of Caleb, the brother of Jeremiel, were Misha, his firstborn, who was the father of Ziph, and the sons of Marishah, the father of Hebron. The sons of Hebron were Korah, Zappua, Rechem, and Shema. Shema begot Ram, the father of Jorkoam, and and Rechem begot Shemai. And the son of Shemai was Maon, and Maon was the father of Beth Zur. Ephah, Caleb's concubine, bore Haran, Moza, and Gazez. And Haran begot Gazez. And the sons of Jaddai were Regem, Jotham, Geshen, Pelet, Ephah, and Sheaph. Maacah, Caleb's concubine, bore Sheber and Tirhana. She also bore Sheaph, the father of Madmannah, Shiva, the father of Macbanah, and the father of Gibeah. And the daughter of Caleb was Achesh. These were the descendants of Caleb, the sons of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah, were Shobal, the father of Kirjath Jearim, Salma, the father of Bethlehem, and Hareph, the father of Beth Gader. And Shobal, the father of Kirjath Jearim, had descendants, Haroah, and half of the families of Manuath. The families of Kirjath Jearim were the Itharites, the Puthites, the Shumathites, and the Mishrathites. And I said that wrong. From these came the Zorathites and the Eshtalites. The sons of Salma, were Bethlehem, the Netophathites, Atroth, Beth, Joab, half of the Mehethites, I said that wrong, and the Zorites. And the families of the scribes who dwelt at Zabez were the Tirathites and the Shimeathites and the Succothites. These were the Kenites who came from Hamath, the father of the house of Rechab. 1 Chronicles chapter 3. How are we doing? Pretty good. Now these were the sons of David who were born to him in Hebron. The first was Amnon by Ahinoam, the Jezreelitess. The second, Daniel by Abigail, the Carmelitess. The third, Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. The fourth, Adonijah, the son of Haggith. The fifth, Shephatiah by Abidol. The sixth, Ithream by his wife Eglah. These six were born to him in Hebron. There he reigned 7 years and 6 months, and in Jerusalem he reigned 33 years. And these were born to him in Jerusalem: Shemaiah, Shobab, Nathan, and Solomon. 4 by Bathshua, the daughter of Amiel. Also, there were Ibar, Elishama, Eliphalet, Noga, Negev, or Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Eliada, excuse me, maybe, Eliphalet, 9 in all. These were all the sons of David, besides the sons of the concubines and Tamar their sister. Solomon's son was Rehoboam, Abijah was his son, Asa his son, Jehoshaphat his son, Joram his son, Ahiah his son, Joash his son, Amaziah his son, Azariah, his son, Jotham his son, Ahaz his son, Hezekiah his son, Manasseh his son, Amon his son, and Josiah his son. The sons of Josiah were Johanan, the firstborn, the second Jehoiakim, and the third Zedekiah, and the fourth Shalem. The sons of Jehoiakim were Jeconiah, his son, and Zedekiah, his son. The sons of Jeconiah were Asir, Shalitiel, his son, and Malchiram, Pedaiah, Shenazar, Jachamah, Hoshama, and Nebadiah. The sons of Pedaiah were Zerubbabel and Shimei. The sons of Zerubbabel were Meshullam, Hanashai, Shelomith, their sister, and Hushba, Ohel, Barakai, Hezadiah, and Jusheb, Hezed, 5 in all. The sons of Hanani were Pelatiah and Jeshiah. The sons of Raphiah, the sons of Arnan, the sons of Obadiah, and the sons of Shechaniah. The son of Shechaniah was Shemaiah. The sons of Shemaiah were Hattush, Igal, Beriah, Neriah, and Shaphat, 6 in all. The sons of Neriah were Elaniah, Hezekiah, and Azrikam, 3 in all. The sons of Elaniah were Hodaviah, Elishib, Peliah, Achab, Johanan, Deliah, and Anani, 7 in all. Chapter 4, 1 Chronicles chapter 4. The sons of Judah were Perez, Hezron, Carmi, Hur, Shobal, and Reah. The son of Shobal begot Jahath, and Jahath begot Iumai and Lahad. These were the families of the Zorathites. These were the sons of the father of Etam, Jezreel, Ishma, and Idbash. And the name of their sister was Hazelethani, or Poni. And Penuel was the father of Gedor, and Ezer was the father of Hushah. These were the sons. Oh, let me see if I can. Sorry, there's a puzzle piece here. Got it. Okay. These were the sons of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah, the father of Bethlehem. And Asher, the father of Tekoa, had 2 wives, Helah and Naarah. Naarah bore him Auzim, Hefer, Timeni, and Haahashtari. These were the sons of Naarah. The sons of Helah were Zereth, Zoar, and Ethnan. And Koz begat Anab, Zobiba, and the families of Arahel, the son of Haram. Now Jabez was more honorable than his brothers, and his mother called his name Jabez, saying, because I bore him in pain. And Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain. So God granted him what he requested. Chelub, the brother of Shahua, begot Meir, who was the father of Eshton. And Eshton begot Beth Rapha, Paseah, and Tahina, the father of the father of Ir-Nahash. These were the men of Reka. The sons of Kenaz were Othniel and Sariah. The sons of Othniel were Hathath and Menotiah, who begot Ophrah. Sariah begot Joab, the father of Ge Harashim, for they were craftsmen. The sons of Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, were Iru, Elah, and Naam. The son of Elah was Kenaz. The sons of Jehalelel were Ziph, Ziphah, Tirai, and Azarel. The sons of Ezra were Jether, Mered, Epher, and Jalon. Mered's wife bore Miriam, Shimei, and Ishbai, the father of Estemoa. His wife, Jehudiah, she bore Jared, the father of Gedor, Heber, and the father of Soko, and Jekthiel, the father of Zenoah. And these were the sons of Betiah, the daughter of Pharaoh, whom Mered took. The sons of Hodiah's wife, the sister of Nahum, were the fathers of Keilah, the Garmite, and of Eshtemoa, the Maacathite. The sons of Shimon were Amnon, Rina, Ben-Hanan, and Tylon. And the sons of Ishai were Zehoath and Ben-Zoath, or Zoath and Ben-Zoath. The sons of Shelah, the son of Judah, were the father of Leka, Laada, the father of Marashah, and the families of the house of the linen workers of the house of Ashbea. Also Joachim, the man of Kozeba, and Joash, Seraph, who ruled in Moab, and Jashubileam. Now the records are ancient. These were the potters and those who dwelt in Netaim and Gedera. There they dwelt with the king for his work. The sons of Simeon were Nemuel, Jamin, Jerib, Zerah, and Shaul. Shalem, his son, Mibsam, his son, Mishma, his son. And the sons of Mishma were Hamuel, his son, Zakur, his son, and Shimei, his son. Shimei had 16 sons and 6 daughters, but his brothers did not have many children, nor did any of their families multiply as much as the children of Judah. They dwelt at Beersheba, Moladah, Hazor, Shaul, Bilath, Ezem, Tolad, Bethuel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar, Susim, Beth Biri, and at Sheraim. These were their cities until the reign of David, and their villages were Etam, Aim, Rimmon, Token, and Ashen, 5 cities. And all the villages that were around the cities as far as Baal. These were their dwelling places, and they maintained their genealogy. Meshobab, Jamlech, and Josha, the son of Amaziah, Joel, and Jehu, the son of Joshabiah, the son of Sariah, the son of Asahel. Elonii, Jacobah, and Jeshoiah, Asahiah, Adiel, Jesamiel, and Benaiah. Ziza, the son of Shiphi, the son of Elon, the son of Jediah, the son of Shimri, the son of Shemaiah, These mentioned by name were leaders in their families, and their father's house increased greatly. So they went to the entrance of Gedor, as far as the east side of the valley, to seek pasture for their flocks. And they found rich, good pasture, and the land was broad, quiet, and peaceful, for some Hamorites formerly lived there. These, recorded by name, came in the days of Hezekiah, king of Judah, and they attacked their tents and the Meunites who were found there, and utterly destroyed them, as it is to this day. So they dwelt in their place, because there was pasture for their flocks there. Now some of them, 500 men, and the sons of Simeon, went to Mount Seir, having as their captains Pelatiah, Neriah, Rephaiah, and Uziel, the sons of Ishai, and they defeated the rest of the Amalekites who had escaped. They have dwelt there to this day. And I am going to give my brain a rest till tomorrow, and we'll pick up First Chronicles chapter 5. That was a lot of names. I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube and Rumble. Goodbye, YouTube and Rumble.